here, and today we'll be reviewing another book called The Only Black Girls in Town, written by Brandy Colbert. Finally, I won't be the only black girl in my entire grade. Beach-loving surfer Alberta has been the only black girl in town for years. Alberta's best friend, Laramie, is the closest person she has to a sister. But there are some things even she can't understand. When the bed and breakfast across the street finds new owners, Alberta is ecstatic to learn the family's black, and they have a 12-year-old daughter just like her. Alberta is positive she and the new girl, Edie, would be fast friends. But while Alberta loves being a California girl, Edie misses her native Brooklyn and finds it hard to adapt to small-town living. Suddenly, the fast track to friendship doesn't seem so easy. When the girls discover a box of old journals in Edie's attic, they team up and secretly begin investigating who the journals belong to and why they got left behind. As the mystery unravels, the girls are led to the painful truth behind the journals and the shocking discovery of the story within. So the story mostly takes place at Ellen Beach, Alberta's house, school, the B&B where Eddie lives, and the creamery, which is an ice cream shop. And the main characters are Alberta, Edie, Olive, Laramie, Nicolette, Dad, Elliot, and Denise. And the book cover, I love the book cover because it has Alberta right here, and then there's Edie right here. And at the bottom of their feet, if you guys can't see it, there's sand, and on the back part of it, it also has sand, but it says the beach right here in that sign. What happens in the book is that Alberta thinks she's going to be the only black girl in town forever. She lives at her dad's. Then one day, Edie and her mom take over the B&B across the street. Alberta is sure that they will become BFFs because they're both black, but she soon realizes that they have a lot of differences. Edie and Alberta bond over the journals that they find in Edie's attic, and throughout the book, they try to piece together the whole story of the journals. I'm going to read you guys my favorite part when Edie and Alberta find these journals in Edie's attic. I wonder what Constance really wanted to be. I want to know how old she is and how her journals ended up in this attic, right here in Ellen Beach, after so many years. There is one I want to show you. It's from the same year, but she wrote a lot of entries, so I skipped around a bit, she says guiltily. Like I'll be mad at her for reading ahead of me. Eddie thumbs through a book and looks just like the one I'm holding, only the outside of it's covered in chestnut brown cloth instead of blue. She slides her fingers between two pages and passes it over. I set the next book on top of the one in my lap and begin to read. September 19th, 1955. Today, Mrs. Graham and Mrs. Ogden over for tea. I overheard them talking, and I swear I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but they weren't trying to be quiet either. They were speaking about the Negro boy who was killed down south. His mother had an open casket, and one of the Negro magazines printed pictures of his mangled face. Mrs. Graham said it was a shame, but Mrs. Ogden ticked her. She said maybe if that boy had been minding his own business, he wouldn't have ended up like he did. I couldn't help it. I held my breath as I waited for Mrs. Graham's response. She told Miss Ogden that things are different down there, that we don't really know what it's like when we're all the way across the country. Miss Ogden said the Negroes have been getting uppity since they won the Supreme Court case to desegregate the schools. But she didn't use the word Negroes. I've never heard Mrs. Graham speak so brusquely. Marilyn, I've told you, I don't want that language in my home. Now if you'll excuse me for a moment. Then Mrs. Graham came into the kitchen and put another kettle on the stove, though I was standing right there. As soon as I heard her coming, I busied myself with wiping down the counters. But I don't think she even noticed that I was standing right next to her. Love, Constance. A lump rises in my throat when I'm done reading. I think she was talking about Emmett Till, Eddie said before I could open my mouth. Do you know about him? Yeah, my dads are big on black history. They say the schools here don't do a very good job of teaching it. I'm going to read you guys about the author. Brandy Colbert is a critically acclaimed author. The Only Black Girls in Town is her middle grade debut. Born and raised in Springfield, Missouri, she now lives and writes in Los Angeles. And when she was growing up, she was one of the only black girls in her hometown, which inspired this book. Hope you guys read this book and enjoy it as much as I did, and I hope you guys purchase this online. It came out in March, so you guys can find out if Alberta and Edie cracked the case of the journals. And birthday shout outs to my little cousin Camila and my god sister Layla. I hope you guys have an awesome birthday. I love you guys so much. Bye guys, see you next time.